Joining us now is Jason Meister, a member of the Trump 2020 Advisory Board. So, Jason, we've seen some pretty big developments regarding the Flynn case. And this is one of those things where a lot of those on the right have been saying that this is exactly what we've been warning about for the past couple of years. And those on the left are finally trying to say that they are now kind of seeing that understanding. So what is your response to these latest developments?
Look, these are bombshells. I wrote about this back in 2017. I've been waiting for this news to come out for some time now. I mean, we basically had the upper echelons of the Obama intelligence community. These were thugs, okay? They were entrapping General Flynn. You see from these notes that they were trying to get him to break the Logan Act. They were trying to railroad him and entrap him. And finally, he's getting the exoneration he deserves. The fact that they did this to a general, a starred general, is just an abomination. And I think that they have to pay the ultimate price.
And it's a cliche, but we've heard a lot of people say if they can do this to a national security advisor or a four-star general, as you were saying, they can do it to people like you and I. And they do it to people in, for example, minority neighborhoods. It's a police tactic that is used very often. And that's not necessarily a defense to what's going on. I mean, what they did was try to essentially create a crime to then pursue this individual. Am I right to say that?
100%. And it should shake every bone in every American's body that this occurred, that you had effectively had the opposition party in power wiretapping, phone tapping, email tapping, spying on the transition team, framing a U.S. president, and then ultimately trying to take out a duly elected president that was, by the way, voted by 63 plus million Americans. It should shake every bone in every American's body.
And a lot of the people are now looking ahead to accountability. I know we still have to get through exactly what's going on right now. We still need more information, but I think it's worth differentiating this from example, Michael Horowitz's report, which was into FISA abuses. This is a little bit different. Would this fall under the purview of John Durham's investigation?
It certainly does. And I was just reading a report out, I don't know which periodical, but they're saying that Durham was well aware of all this. He's looking at this very seriously. He's making a very serious case from what the report that I read, and he's been talking to Attorney General Barr very consistently throughout his investigation. And I believe what I was reading was that report would be due by the end of sometime this summer, July or August.
And that's what we've been hearing for a little bit now. In fact, Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Lindsey Graham first said that a couple months ago that he's hoping that this will come out in the beginning of the summer. And we are approaching that time frame now. And it seems like that correlates with a lot of these releases that we're seeing right now. I mean, we saw the Horowitz report. We see these latest developments regarding Michael Flynn. We recently saw unredacted footnotes regarding George Papadopoulos. So we are starting to get a more broad picture when it comes to this. But what about when it comes to the lawmakers and politicians? Do you think it's time for maybe some of the Republicans in the Senate to exercise their oversight authority?
I think it's long been the time that they start to exercise that. But I think with all these bombshells and with every bombshell, it gets worse and worse. I think that you'll see more of that happening, that activity. But this goes up, I think, very high in the Obama administration. And I think it has a significant impact on the upcoming election, not just from the impact of potential indictments for some of these people that broke the laws, but also I think it has an impact because of the candidate that's running on the Democrat ticket. He was vice president. He was number 2 in command. What did Joe Biden know? I think it's an important question that reporters need to start asking as these bombshells start to hit.
And when we look at that chain of command, too, I mean, who we know was involved up to this point, we know that Peter Strzok, for example, wanted to keep open the FBI case, even though some other agents wanted to dismiss it. He wanted to keep it open. And then there's questions about how high it goes. Was it Andrew McCabe? Did he have knowledge about this? Those emails suggest that he was involved. James Comey, he's been on the record speaking about how he said that he sent agents to the White House to investigate or at least interrogate Flynn. And he said that that's not something that he would have done in any other administration. So we already see that there may be some signs of wrongdoing, but when it comes to accountability, what does that look like? Is it lawsuits against these people, criminal type of actions against these people? What does that look like?
I think first we need to restore the rule of law in this country. Without the rule of law, this country has no bearing. Okay, so I think that you're going to see, hopefully, these people are going to be held accountable. And when I say held accountable, I am talking about criminal indictments. Because when you break the law in this country, you have to pay the ultimate And I agree with you. I think that the people that are potentially involved in this are Comey, McCabe, Strzok, Page, Brennan. So I think it goes up and down the ladder. But again, where did it ultimately come from? We need to get to the bottom of that too. How high up did it go within the Obama administration?
Right, and it's accountability, too, of people who are in a position of power. It's not just, for example, parking tickets that we're talking about here. These are taxpayer-funded individuals who are tasked with the responsibility of protecting us. And when you see that maybe be manipulated for other means, that's when things really get problematic, because that's when something even bigger is at play. Democracy is at stake when we see what's happening right now, if it ends up to be true. So we're still waiting on that more information. But Jason Meister, I really appreciate you coming on tonight and breaking down this topic for us. Thank you.